Okay. What you experience, of course, created by Peter Jackson, but more specifically the team over at his company, WETA FX. They got their start working with practical, tangible special effects for films like Lord of the Rings, but quickly worked their way over to digital CGI, computer-generated imagery, what you just experienced. And they won over 6 Academy Awards, so they certainly know what they're talking about, so I think I'm going to let them talk about it.
With a project like Studio Tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions, there's creatures coming at them, they're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side. Open on moving, we always know
Guys, another train is ready to
also one of the things about a lot of movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along this island is what it films. This train represents the screen is 10 meters away. There's actually about 50 years of visual information that makes it represented
It is one wild ride. In fact, you probably saw one of the tram cars get ripped off of the tour. Those poor guests placed into Skull Island to be left for... we won't talk about it. Not the first time our trams have appeared on screens, actually. It's happened countless times over the years. We like to think we're pretty world famous. Universal calls these tram cameos. I call them tramios. And while we like to believe we are world famous, we get it. We're not the most famous vehicle Universal has ever created. And you do want to look up, but no, not down there. Those are real people cars up here. Picture Car Row is what we are approaching, and we got some of our more famous vehicles out this way, folks. Now, these vehicles, like our sets and Hollywood actors, not as real as you'd like them to be. For example, one of the first vehicles you will be seeing is our Ferrari 308 from Magnum PI. Not a real Ferrari, has a Volkswagen engine on the inside. I'll still take it. We also have some of the Back to the Future Part 2 vehicles out this way. You know, the future is now the past, 2015? Yeah. Never did get flying vehicles, let alone flying Ford Ecos. Flintstone rides, reconfigured golf carts, though I never understood why I got a sports car. They're all powered by food, though. Okay. Speaking of physics that don't make sense, you got the gyrosphere up ahead, Jurassic World. Now, if you watch the Jurassic World movies, you'll note that the gyrosphere here today currently missing the sphere, the glass bubble that existed within the movies. Truth of it is, it never existed in real life. Glass is highly reflective. The last thing the crew wanted while you were watching Dinosaurs Attack Kids was to see the crew. So they had to add the glass in post-production, CGI, same as King Kong. Apparently it's as easy as that these days, which is crazy to think about when you consider that the very first Jurassic Park movie, well, it actually revolutionized CGI in the film industry. And since we're talking about it, I actually know a guy, and he has something he'd like to say. John?
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Alright, that's all I wanted to say, but that's right, folks. We're actually returning back to the Jurassic Park paddock, where we do have a lot of the original props and vehicles from the OG trilogy itself, including what you'll see as the mobile lab unit, which was actually featured predominantly in the Lost World Jurassic Park, the Jeff Goldblum, Julian Moore. In fact, the mobile lab unit about to appear on your screens right here, and also coming up to the left. Now, in person, you'll note that the mobile lab unit, it was created and made out of plywood. Because again, nothing in Hollywood's real. But from the first film, Dennis Nedry, character that tried to steal some dino DNA, tried to escape off the island, gets attacked by some dinosaurs. Well, folks, we actually have those dinosaurs for you here today, the Spitters, the Dilophosaurus. They're actually up ahead in the cages there to the... I'm not... Gladys, wait, do you see this anywhere? Tell you what, if they get out and attack the guest, it'll be our job. Oh no. Yeah, y'all are currently getting spit on by some of the most sick liquid. Now I'm showing you the scene again here on your screens because I can. And because it's cool for a couple of reasons. Now, one of the things that makes this scene cool here is the fact that it's raining. You see, they filmed this scene here in Southern California. And it's raining? No, it doesn't do that here, folks. At least not often enough. Most of the time when we need to create weather effects, we gotta actually do it ourselves. And as our tour continues to go downhill, we're going to do it ourselves, right? We're heading into Old Mexico right now, where we're going to do a weather demonstration just for you folks. It's true, my good friend Susie here today, our special effects supervisor. She's been working pretty hard to help create a thunderstorm demonstration. Now, in truth, some of the elements that we're going to have here today, you would not have them on set. For example, the sound of thunder, you're not going to hear it there. We want to pick up our actors' dialogue crisp and cleanly, but today we've added a little bit of thunder. Lightning. Of course. And again, thunder added with music and editing because the actor's dialogue is very important. But the most important part that we need to pick up here today is the rain. So let's cue some rain. Now these raindrops falling dramatically from the skies. By skies, I mean the sprinkler system are about 5 to 8 times thicker than regular rain. Does that better in cameras that way? The sun is kind of backlighting it a little bit. That's how we would do it in Hollywood.
I think
Sparkle a little bit. And then the black and white camera, we filled it up with powder film. So we stopped doing that. Sanitary. But because these raindrops are larger than normal, Susie, do me a favor. Let's go ahead and shut it off. We're gonna head out of here. Thank you. Susie, you gonna go and turn it off? Susie? Oh no. There was no Susie. Blues. Whoa. There's a chance you might get wet.
Wow.
They're all blue. On your screens, Big Fat Liar, Paul Giamatti, Frankie Muniz, and Amanda Bynes utilize the very same flood that you just experienced. Lady Gaga also did in her music video Judas, and in fact in that video Gaga, she gets swept away by the flood, and when they filmed it, she actually did it herself. Right there on your screens is Paul Giamatti's stuntman, so all I'll say about that. This area of Old Mexico, the Three Amigos made it famous. Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, Martin Short. Is also seen as a town of Pariah in season 1 of HBO's Westworld. And Picard recently utilized it with Sir Patrick Stewart. But we're crossing the border saying adios to Old Mexico and howdy to 6 Points, Texas. Gets its name because at one time we had 6 streets, couldn't would film up to 6 silent westerns. Throw dirt on the ground, some cowboys, and you got the Old West. And these sets have been playing the Old West since time in memoriam, probably why Quentin Tarantino made his movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood out this way. This was also recently seen in Quantum Leap, the reboot. They featured a couple of episodes significantly in that film here, and Killing It, currently working in the area. But you might notice another peculiarity about some of these windows and doors in these sets. Some of them smaller or taller than you'd expect, and that's because our actors taller or smaller than you'd expect. We couldn't have that during the Western era. Cowboys needed to seem bigger and brawner. Brawnier? That's the word I was trying to go for. And so we'd have them coming out of much smaller doors. Not the only way that we changed the heights of our actors either. On your screens, John Wayne, he was 6'4", Kirk Douglas, 5'9". But they look the same height. Yeah, we did that with a box. Kirk is standing on a box. Look here, John, he gets to walk off. Well, he will in a moment. I paused it too early. There we go. Bye. Kirk, he can't, because he's standing on that box. Okay, he's happy about it. It's fine. Now, as we round this corner here, remember when we were sitting on the Studio Tour Plaza and I pointed out those stages, 30 through 33? Well, hey, we're near them. Look at those bad boys over there. Now, those are brand new. The Voice, that's where that films now, along with shows like American Song Contest, Snoop Dogg, Kelly Clarkson, and That's My Jam, Jimmy Fallon. A lot of competition happening out that way. But in between us and those stages are Park Lake. This is not new. In fact, it's been here for such a minute, we filmed Creature from the Black Lagoon. Ooh. We turned it into the Amazon, and actually, on your screens right there, you can see the Hollywood Hills in the background of the Amazon. Okay, now Creature, truthfully, was not the only sinister movie that we made, because, well, we made all of them, at least the first of them. Frankenstein, Dracula, The Mummy, they were ours. We got their start right here. In fact, they were filmed in the sets right behind me. These sets had been here since the 20s and 30s, but recently they were not utilized for anything sinister, rather something good, folks. Welcome to the exterior sets of a show that had aired on NBC called The Good Place.
You, Ellen and Shellstrom, are dead. This location, the afterlife, I've never ever seen it. Yes, you're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to a bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Well, one of my favorite shows shows ever to have aired on network television, folks, created by Mike Schur. You'll recognize his name from shows like Parks and Rec, so if you enjoyed that, you're more than welcome to enjoy this too. But hey, if you haven't seen Good Place, you've probably seen something else that's filmed here. This was also Genovia, The Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement during the parade sequence. This was Port Royal and Tortuga for Pirates of the Caribbean, Seen in Heroes, Mindy Project, and anytime a Star Trek crew member would go to someplace vaguely European, it happened right here. But across the way from the railway station, you're looking at the Court of Miracles, which is where Frankenstein was seen for the first time.
The Mummy, Chris Cranford, Family the Opera, classic films are just brilliant. That Frankenstein image, flathead, it's one of the great icons of the world.
And on your left, it's the Invisible Man. He's invisible. And you're right. Actually, believe it or not, folks, yesterday we just celebrated the 90th anniversary of the release of The Mummy. Yesterday, that's pretty crazy. It came out in 1932, and we're still here, folks. Now, as you round this corner here to the left, you'll see a house. That was for the show Home and Family on the Hallmark Channel. The only reason I'm really pointing it out is because it's a practical set. We could film on the inside as well, which again is rare. Most of the time, when we go inside of a soundstage. So, let's go inside of a soundstage, folks. We're about to go inside of our stage 50. On your screens, you've seen it in an episode of Bones. Emily Deschanel, David Boreanaz. Now, the stage we're about to hit, oh, well, you know what? I spoke too soon. Looks like we're having a bit of a technical difficulty on up ahead inside of our Soundstage 50. Stand by for me there, folks. I'm going to take that away. I'll talk about the house, I guess. Since we're here, Home and Family utilized that show for the better part of that house for the better part of a decade, and it is a practical house. I mean that we film on the outside and the inside. How they filmed was a live to tape, so they'd actually spend an entire morning to afternoon filming an episode, kind of editing it right then and there. They'd have multiple cameras. They'd take it into a trailer in the afternoon, finite that edit, broadcast it the very next day. Very quick turnaround. Most of the content that we create in Hollywood spend weeks and weeks prepping, weeks and weeks filming, weeks and weeks editing, and then you finally see it maybe a year later. Very different over there. In fact, that house is so practical that they have two kitchens. Because it was a DIY show, so they'd have a kitchen where they'd show you how to make recipes. And then they'd have the professional kitchen, where they'd actually make the recipes. So it always looks better on screen, folks. Now, we are pausing here for just a moment, folks. I'm not entirely certain if we're going to have an opportunity to go inside of Soundstage 50 or what our plan is. We're having a bit of a technical difficulty. This happens from time to time, and in truth, it happens on set as well. Though, on set, in the film industry, we call it a movie blooper, and usually it's much funnier than what's happening.
Let me tell you something, Paige. Let me tell you something.
Alrighty, folks, looks like we're moving forward. That was pretty painless. So, like I said, folks, Soundstage 50, I'll go ahead and show you this again here on your screens. Well, oh, no. Well, we're going inside of it anyway. So normally, folks, if I'm honest, this is another sort of special effect element that we use for the studio tour, but it's looking like it's really not wanting to work for us here today. So we're just going to have a look at the set and then probably drive all the way through it, if I'm honest. I do apologize about this. If you want to know kind of what sort of elements they have in here, Bones also use some of the special effects that's on your screens right now. Don't you love looking at what you don't get to experience? Alrighty, folks. So yes, we are going to be moving on forward with our studio tour. I do apologize for the inconvenience, but we have a whole lot more fun stuff to be showing you on the tour. So we're going to keep moving on forward. Now, what we were going to show you in there were practical mechanical special effects, right? King Kong was all created on the computer. That would have been a mechanical version of that, and obviously that is where special effects got their start. In fact, Universal has had a really long and beautiful history with mechanical special effects. And when we talk about those kinds of special effects, one film, to my mind, well, Jaws. They had a mechanical shark, and they filmed it out at Martha's Vineyard. But we've got our very own Amity Island right here, and that is where we are headed to, folks. We're going to take a nice little vacation away from the tour for a moment. I'm a little tired. And it does say beach clothes, as you can see on your screens. Yeah, they had a shark problem, of course, but that was back in the 70s, so it's not a big deal. We caught him. He's hanging up over here to the right. A little bit smaller than I was expecting him to be, but that's fine. I actually asked a good friend of mine, Pete. He's a stunt diver. He's in the water right now. He's making sure that the water is clean and clear. As long as Pete gives us the okay. I'm thinking, okay, that doesn't sound good. Yeah, that doesn't look good. I think we caught the wrong shark. Okay, one moment. Hey, hey, Pete! Pete! Yeah, there you are. Swim towards the boat, buddy. You're not doing anything. Swim towards the boat. Okay. No. Pete. Oh, for Pete's sake. He had a lot of guts, and yet, nope. There they are. Okay. You know what? Do me a favor. Go ahead and just remain seated for me. We're going to head on out of here. Everybody remain seated as we make our way across the... Is this as fast as this thing goes? No, that's fine. We'll just keep on chugging along. I feel like we're slowing down. I feel like we're running out of power. The electric tram's run out of juice, hasn't it? So that gas station next to us, that's not going to do us any good. These newfangled electric trams!